Welcome back, guys, to Getting Over It. I lost all my progress. I don't mean I fell off the mountain. I mean the game reset itself, and I lost all my progress. So if you see my face angry right now, that is why. It is because I got over that mountain. Look at this. I've gotten so skilled. I've gotten so skilled at getting through this part of the level that it's now to the point, and I'm sorry, my mouse keeps falling off. I haven't given myself enough room. It is now to the point where the only thing...
Sorry about that.
No, I don't care. I don't care about that. It was all because I was repositioning my mouse. I lost all my progress. I don't know how it happened, but the game reset itself on me. And I found out the biggest flaw in this game. You see how the mouse goes off the camera? How it like... Yeah, exactly. See, this is the cursor, this little dot in the middle. Problem is, whenever you get to the end, see, whenever you're in the air, moving, the cursor cannot keep up with your character moving. It doesn't load the frames fast enough, and as a result, there will be times whenever your hammer will fly in random directions. That was the problem I kept running into last game. Like at this speed, it's not going to happen ever. But you see how the faster you go, the further your cursor flies off the screen. Eventually, if you're not careful, your mouse will actually go off the screen. You won't be able to move your character at all. That is the biggest flaw I found in this game, and I cannot believe it went unnoticed by the developer. Like, that was the first thing that should have been amended. And that was entirely my fault. I was holding on to the wire of the mouse. Alright, time for a formal introduction. Welcome back to Getting Over It. This game that, if you ask me, was just poorly designed. Like, I understand the purpose of it is to make things difficult, but there are three flaws I've noticed in the game. The first is that there is a hard reset. I don't know how I did it, but I was trying to work with my OBS settings, and what ended up happening is I lost all my progress. The game restarted from the very beginning. When I say restarted, I mean I'm back in the pot, haven't even stepped out of it yet. That's what I'm talking about. Alright, try that again. No, that's not what I meant by try that again. Come on, mouse. Don't have enough room. Don't have enough room on my table
again.
here.
Keep on trying. Don't let it get to you.
I've got to get a wireless mouse. That is the problem I'm facing right now. Is I do not have a wireless mouse. See right there how the cursor was all the way at the bottom of the screen? That is the second flaw in this game. And the third flaw is that whenever your character is on a cliff, there will be times where the game has a bug. It loads the corner section of the map, like the opposite. How do I put this? I'll just show you. I'll get out over this cliff and show you real quick. Assuming I'm actually able to. I don't know if I'll be able to. Just because my computer is actually overheating at this point. Sadly.
The obstacles in sexy hiking are unyielding, and that makes the game uniquely frustrating. But I'm not sure Jazzuo intended to make a frustrating game. The frustration is just essential to the act of climbing, and it's authentic to the process of building a game about climbing. A funny thing happened to me as I was building this mountain. I'd have an idea for a new obstacle, and I'd build it, test it, and it would usually turn out to be unreasonably hard. But I couldn't bring myself to make it easier. It already felt like my inability to get past the new obstacle was my fault as a player rather than as a builder. Imaginary mountains build themselves from our efforts to climb them, and it's our repeated attempts to reach the summit that turns those mountains into something real.
So that's what I was talking.
Building a video game world.
Are you kidding me?
Ideas. And that can be like working with quickset cement.
Can you stop talking,
Mold
please?
your ideas into a certain shape that can be played with. And in the process of playing with them, they begin to harden and set until they're immutable, like rock. And at that point, you can't...
as I was saying to you, everybody, you can just read the text since you've seen it all before. As I was trying to say, the final problem in this game, and I can't believe it went unnoticed, is that when you get stuck like in between two different frame shots. So there's a glitch in Pokemon where if you go to, I think it's Vermilion City on your bicycle, and you step on these two different squares, it loads two different sections of the map. Each one only holds 24 blocks. And what ends up happening, once you get to that part of the map where it loads the two sections, if you go back and forth fast enough, the game lags. And it eventually bugs out. And that is the problem I kept running into here, is the developer, in sections like this, where, like that, see, in the upper right corner, that's actually a second section. That's the junkyard. So down here, and once you reach the junkyard, it triggers a command prompt inside of the executable file of the game, and that's where the next voiceover will start. So in places like this, whenever you're stuck between two different, what do I want to call them? For better lack of terms, I'll just say places inside the game. When you're stuck between, and I'm not really focusing on the game, I'm focusing on my thoughts. So when you're stuck between two places in the game like that, what ends up happening is the game, the cursor inside the game wigs out, and it tries loading on the upper corner of the screen or on the bottom corner, depending on where you're at. And while you move your cursor back, it bugs, and for a moment, the hammer stops moving, or it'll either get stuck or it will lag and then flip like 25 or 45 degree angle, and then it'll let you keep on turning. And if you're unlucky, what'll happen is it will bug 25 degrees one direction, then go back, and then continue, and then turn. So it's a huge pain. That's why this section here is like the most difficult part that I've come across, is because it loads right in between the two frames. So this game, although it's only $8 on Steam, you know, you have to give it credit for that. It's not that expensive. It's definitely not. It's one of those games that would be like $5 on the PlayStation Store. It's just not really that well made. So now that I'm done with my long explanation of the faults I found in this game, let me get back to playing. Come on. There. Make sure I give myself enough room to actually play the game. Nope. Of course not. Having a wired mouse is my biggest problem. I just don't have the room for it. Give myself more room? I doubt it. That's better, but probably not enough. The game's not unbeatable. There's someone who beat the whole game in, I think, like 1 minute and 44 seconds, a speed run. I have no interest in speed running. It's just a waste of my time. But I can tell you that having this wired mouse means that this wire gets like bunched up right in front, and I can't move it. I can't move my mouse forward, and it creates a bunch of different problems for me. Like that. That's what I'm talking about. So, but like if I hold it like this, then my mouse is constantly turning in one angle. This is incredibly tedious. But again, I'm someone who needs to be able to stay in my head, and if I can't do that, then I very quickly start feeling exhausted. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see if I can. And that's another thing, is like holding this up means I'm pulling my mouse off the mouse pad. I feel like I just can't win, and I just don't have the money to put into a wireless mouse right now, let alone a good one. You might say, well, you can go on Craigslist. See, that's what I'm talking about. Right there. My mouse, or the cursor, glitched into the bottom right corner. This frustrates me so much. It is a game developer issue, and it makes me so frustrated that he would release a game with a bug that big. He had to have seen. He had to have. If he was testing the game, he had to have known that it was there. And I don't know if it's in any other section of the game, but I know for certain it's in this one. Guys, I am telling you, I made it past this before the game reset itself. Ugh. I'm about to just switch to a PS2 Let's Play at this point. And it's only in between the first and second light. It's like right after you latch onto the first light, it starts loading the frames for the second location. See what I'm talking about? Right there. Right there. And the game always glitches out. I have so much trouble getting past it. What frustrates me the most is whenever I started the other video, I got past it on the first try. Actually, it was more like the second, but it didn't take me long is the point. And now, the mouse. It's always the mouse. Always in that one spot. It's never, after I get past it, I started flying. My game sped up, and I had no lag issues. But it's like right here, because it's constantly loading 2 frames, my graphics card just can't handle it, unfortunately. I wish it could, but... Come on, can I get over this? Can I get over it? Oh, no! 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 Ah!